Hey guys, how you doing? Another episode of Ask the Wizard, streaming live unplugged. There can be only one. There was a movie, I don't even know, I think it was maybe 80s. Christopher Lambert was in it, and Sean Connery was in it, and some other guys as well. It's called The Highlander. And anyway, it was about these guys who discovered they were immortal, and of course they had to battle each other and all that. Actually, it was almost a cult classic, I think, but it was kind of cool. And the way it worked out was, it was like almost like a tournament, I suppose, where this won't give it away, but the plot isn't super deep. But they would find each other, and the only way they could actually die is if one of them cut the head off of the other one. So, of course, when the one cut the head off the other one, then the power, if you will, I can't remember what they called it, the awakening, I believe it was, or the quickening, I think it was. Interesting, the parallels. Then he took that energy on. So, of course, it went over and over and over until there was just two left. And that was the whole theme behind this, was there can be only one. Interesting comment. You know, it's kind of neat to watch the movie, the first one, because Sean Connery, he finds Christopher Lambert, because Christopher Lambert has just figured out he can't die. And so Sean Connery is sort of helping him to understand, I think he called it the quickening. And it was really neat because kind of when he experienced that, Christopher Lambert, he experienced it, they were on a beach of some type. And there was, I think, a stag. And Sean was saying, feel the energy of the stag and embody that and the energy around. And of course, Christopher Lambert discovered it. But it's really neat how actually accurate that is in so many ways. But I digress. There can be only one. I referenced the term warriors in training the last couple of days, and how, maybe it was even the last one, how there's these, generally speaking, these two schools of thought. Is that, you know, your life experience should be easy and effortless, and if it's not, it's just because of what you're introducing, and it's all that kind of thing. Then there's the other one where there is resistances and there is obstacles and there is, if you will, a battle. For whatever reason, I seem to fall into that latter camp. And not that I haven't experienced the other one, but even then there was still those external resistances pushing at me. I find, especially when you go out and start to make a difference, if you will. So when you start to share what you've learned, if you want to stir up the resistance, that's a really easy way, a good way, effective way to do it. And I think there comes that time when it's basically you or them, whatever them is. And so it's like this, the ground that you're standing on gets smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller until there's only room for one person to stand. At this present moment, it's like it gets smaller and smaller and smaller until there's only room for one person, I'll use that word, to stand in this present moment. And then the question really to ask yourself, that I ask myself, is who's it going to be? Is it going to be me? Or is it going to be those obstacles, the darkness, if you will? Because it can be only one. And which one is it going to be? And I'm finding that it kind of feels that way, right? It's this or this. And here's the thing. I was going to say enemy. The obstacles, that which is pushing against you, you can't see it. See, here's the, I don't want to call it the secret, but I'm going to anyway. is you can't see it. It's not I'll use the word enemy just for fun because it fits in with this. The enemy isn't something, someone, some things that you can see. They're not physical. They're non-physical. Even when I was teaching and traveling, I experienced that, but it wasn't physical. It was non-physical. Sometimes, hey, Cheryl, how you doing? Sometimes you see the effects of it. This is where it kind of plays out. These are the players, but it's not the cause. The enemy, to use that word, is one that you can't see. So then how do you battle it? And you don't battle it out here. You battle it. I just kind of received this. You battle it in here, and you battle it in here. And here's sort of the irony, is the way you win the war, first of all, isn't out here. And the way you win your war isn't even sort of charging at something. The way you win the war is by just simply standing and not moving and choosing to stand. Where do you make the choice to stand? You make it here. You don't make it here. This is where the strategies will show up. This is where the path through shows up. But your decision to stand isn't one that's made here. It's one that's made here. Because this is where you live. You see, when you choose to stand and not move, you're not referring to your intellect. You're not referring to your past. You're not referring to your belief systems, all that stuff that goes on out here. Where are you making that decision from? It's not from here. It's from here, because this is where you live. And your soul, your spirit, your higher self, you're speaking out from that and saying, I'm not moving. This is it. There can be only one. And it's not going to be anyone, anything other than me. This is who I am. This is what I want. I have a place here. I have a reason to be here. I have a purpose for being here. And no matter how much your intellect may fight you in that, and how much that resistance may try and dissuade you from those choices out here, you make the choice anyway, and you make it from here. It's not a pros and cons. It has nothing to do with rationality. It has nothing to do with your intellect. It has to do with you in your heart saying, I'm not moving. No matter what. And as long as there is breath in my body, I am not moving. And the only way, being a bit extreme here, you can lose the battle, is when the breathing and the beating stops. But until that happens, I am not moving. And I think there's such power in that, such power to holding on to the fact that even maybe you don't know what your purpose is, or maybe you had one, but now it seems to have gone. But to stand anyway, right? See, that's what your intellect will do. Your intellect will try and introduce rationale and all these things, right? And there comes a time when you just say, screw that. I'm choosing here anyway. No matter what. No matter what, I'm standing. And the only way I won't be is when this starts pumping or stops pumping and these lungs start expanding and contracting. And sometimes they expand and contract easier than others these days, but they're still working. And if they're still working, that means I'm still standing. Then maybe that's your greatest place of power, when that's all you have, or at least it appears like that's all you have, is a choice to continue to stand. Thanks for tuning in, guys. That's it. Ask the Wizard Unplugged.